Welcome again to the Old Principal. I am the Old Principal, and here we go for another English instructional program. Well, today's lesson is one that where did I get this? Well, I guess I got it off the internet. Anyway, this is called Remembering Vacation. Remembering vacation. Okay, so how are we going to translate remembering? Well, in the story, you will hear the words unforgettable, 难忘的. Okay, 难忘的这个年假. In other words, they're taking a vacation. 休假. Now, this will be number 32. So we will come back here in just a moment. But first, we're going to let Mrs. Ash, my wife, read the story, and then we'll be ready to go.
Number 32. Remembering Vacation. A number of years ago, I spent a summer teaching in Mexico. Both my children went with me. To pass the time as we drove, my 8-year-old son Larry watched for license plates. The trip to Mexico netted him plates from 24 states, and while we were there, he saw 4 more. So when we started back, he was over halfway to having collected all 50. Our return trip was during the peak vacation season, and to top it off, we went through Yellowstone National Park, a license plate collector's paradise. By the morning of the second day there, he had just 1 more state to go, Delaware. Larry became obsessed with finding a license plate from Delaware. When we stopped to see Yellowstone's magnificent sights, he didn't even glance at them. He preferred to run up and down the parking lots looking at license plates. Talk about stress. Talk about anxiety. You would have thought that his whole life depended on finding a Delaware license plate. When we stopped to eat in a cafeteria near Yellowstone Falls, my son begged me to let him look for license plates. "Please, I don't want to eat," Larry said. "Can't I just stay here in the parking lot?" "No," we told him. "You have to eat." So he went inside and ate as quickly as he could, and then headed out to the parking lot. No sooner had we finished our meal, however, than Larry came bounding across the parking lot. Come here, come here. You've got to see it. You won't believe it if you don't see it." All of us went running out, and there, just pulling out of a parking space, was a blue Volkswagen bus with Delaware license plates. In fact, we got a picture, and even today, a decade later, when we look at our Yellowstone pictures, the Delaware license plate picture tells more about what we did in Yellowstone than anything else.
Welcome back. A number of years ago, this is the lady who is speaking. And so it's not me, even though I say I. This came off of the internet. A number of years ago, I spent a summer teaching in Mexico. A number of years ago, I spent the summer teaching in Mexico. Both of my children went with me. So normally, an American teacher during the summer has nothing to do. So sometimes they volunteer, 自愿, to go to some country, in this case Mexico, to teach for a short amount of time. Maybe 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, not very long. So she obviously volunteered to go, and her children went along with me or with her. Going on. To pass the time of day, remember you're traveling long distances, right? So to pass the time of day, it says, as we drove, my 8-year-old son, Larry, watched for license plates. Now, notice here that when it says to pass the time, 好好过这个时间啊, it's boring, 很无聊, nothing happening in the car. You know, mom is driving, blah, 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 and that's all. So she said, my 8-year-old son, Larry, watched for license plates. Now, keep in mind that he's watching 留意 okay, 留意这个车牌 okay. We saw the picture of Delaware license plate at the beginning of the program. So now, what is it that we're talking about? Here is an 8-year-old boy. He's bored to death. 受不了. So mother suggests, every mother or father suggests this, watch for license plates. And so he writes them down. We say collecting license plates. Of course, he's not taking them, but he's watching and collecting license plates. 他要看 license plates. Well, going on to the next one. The trip to Mexico netted him 24 states. Now, remember, 美国有50州, 50 states. So what is he trying to do? He is trying to see if he can find all 50 states. Okay? So I've done this myself. My brother has done this too. Except for when I did it with my brother, I wouldn't tell my brother when I found one, and he wouldn't tell me. So we were having a friendly competition. 有一点竞争. Yeah, it was good. So on the trip to Mexico, so you're traveling now to Mexico, netted. Okay, what does it mean to net? You could say maybe got him, or 他得到多少呢? 24 plates. Okay, 这个他看到24州的车牌. So now you got 24 going to Mexico. And while we were there, he saw 4 more. So now he had 24 plus 4 is 28. 28 license plates. Going on. So, when we started back, he was over halfway to having collected all 50. How many states are there in America? 有50州. Okay, you have the lower 48, and then you have Alaska, and you have Hawaii. Okay, so you have 50 states. So he had collected. Now, why did I say, put this in parentheses? Quotation marks. Well, because quotation marks means that it's that the meaning 跟表面上 是有一点不同啊。Do you understand what we do? In English, sometimes when we're writing English, we will put a word in these quotation marks, and the meaning is that 表面上跟它真正的含义 or 意义的不同。So, look at that. He was over halfway to having collected. Well, of course, 收集 means that you actually get something. Okay? So, he is not collecting, he's not putting them in his car or his pocket or anything. He is just looking. And when he sees it, he considers it like he has collected it. He has seen it. Going on. On our return trip back home, during the return trip, it was during the peak vacation season. Our return trip, okay, 回家路上的时候, it was during the peak vacation season. Peak, okay, 高峰期, okay, 假日这个高峰期 peak season, we say peak season, okay, so which will always be good because then you see lots of people traveling around. But to top it off, okay, this is a good one to top it off. Okay, top it off. The meaning of top it off means 更加有趣的, 更加有趣的. Okay, so how are we going to translate this? We're going to translate it 在这个假日这个高峰期的时候but even more than that, 更加有趣的, we went to Yellowstone National Park. Have you ever heard, if you know anything about America, have you ever heard about Yellowstone National Park? Okay, 国家的黄石公园. Okay, 国家的黄石公园. Very famous. My father took us as a family, took us twice. So I've been there twice. Actually, one time I actually even went there and went fishing. Okay, so we went through Yellowstone Park. So 它要开过, you start at one side and you travel through, and then you're moving on in this direction. So obviously they lived in the Northwest or Canada or somewhere. Anyway, we went through Yellowstone National Park. And it says here, a license plate collector's paradise. Okay, license plate, 这个车牌收集人的, okay, or paradise. Have you ever been to paradise? Paradise probably means 乐园. 乐园. It's a wonderful place. It's a paradise. So, if it is a license plate collector's paradise, it simply means that there are lots of cars from a lot of different countries, and those cars are all there at Yellowstone National Park. So, if you are collecting license plates, seems to me like we were doing the same thing when I was young, when we went to Yellowstone. Well, whatever. It is license plate collector's paradise simply means that there are lots of license plates from lots of different states, 很多不同的州来的。Going on. By the morning of the second day there, we had just one more state to go, and that was Delaware. So, on the second day there, he collected all the states except one, and that was Delaware. Delaware 这个州在什么地方啊？ Delaware 州在什么地方？ It is on the East Coast, 比较向北东北。Okay, this is Delaware. Okay, and so he just has one more to go. That's all. Now, if it had been me, I'd say, fine, no problem. But Larry became obsessed. What does it mean to become obsessed? 很痴迷. Obsessed. All you can do, all you can think about, all you want to talk about is license plates. He was obsessed. Okay? In finding what? One more license plate from the state of Delaware. Going on. When we stopped to see Yellowstone's magnificent sights, he didn't glance at them. When we stopped, 停在那些这个黄石公园的 magnificent sights. Magnificent 一般翻译是壮丽的风景。Magnificent, beautiful. Sometimes, probably beautiful, 美丽 would be a good translation. Although 表面上 magnificent is 壮丽. When we stopped to see Yellowstone's magnificent sights, he didn't glance at them. 看的也不看. Okay? Glance means you could say look at, right? What's the difference between looking and glancing? To glance 是一下子看一下. To glance at something. To look at it, takes more time. 他连看的也不看. Okay? He just didn't even glance at these beautiful sights, magnificent sights. 这个壮丽的风景 going on. He preferred, 他宁愿 to run up and down the parking lots. He was running, 跑来跑去在停车场跑来跑去 looking at licenses 是看 okay 车牌 talk about stress 多么压力多么焦虑焦急 Now we say talk about stress and talk about anxiety. You can translate that as 多么 so you notice that it says, you see the exclamation mark here, mark there. It just simply means that it's very stressful, very anxious time, at least for one little boy, and for the parents of the one little boy. Going on. You would have thought that his whole life depended on finding a license plate, Delaware license plate. 你会以为认为呢？他人生、他生活、他生命是靠着能够找到这个。It was very stressful time. Okay, did he find one? When we stopped at what? When we stopped at, going on, when we stopped to eat at a cafeteria near Yellowstone Falls, okay, Yellowstone River, Yellowstone 黄石河 okay, 有一个瀑布 okay, falls, 瀑布 and there was a cafeteria there, 自助餐厅啊. So we stopped to eat at Yellowstone Falls. My son begged me, 哀求 to let him look for license plates. 让我去找这些这个车牌 going on. Please, I don't want to eat. 我一点都不想吃啊, said Larry. I can't just stay here in the can't I just stay here in the park? 我待在这个停车场啊，有什么不好啊? Can't, 有什么不好? What's wrong with? Well, actually, children often say, or even young people, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with that? Can't I just do this? And of course, mothers and fathers' natural reactions, no. We told him, you have to eat. 你不得不吃，你一定要吃. Going on. So he went inside and ate as quickly as possible. He went inside and ate as quickly as possible, as quickly as he could, and headed out to the parking lot. So what is he? He's looking for one last license plate. No sooner, going on, no sooner had we finished our meal, 刚好我们吃完的时候, okay? However, then Larry came bounding across the parking lot. Bounding across the parking lot. What does it mean, bounding? 跳跑的, okay? To bound is it's a jump and run at the same time. Jumping and running at the same time. Can you do that? Actually, they have a 锻炼的方法叫 bounding. Okay? Usually it's up a hill. Very stressful. Okay? Come here! Come here! You've got to see it! 来吧! 一定要看见啊! You won't believe it if you don't see it. 除非你看到，你才不会相信呢. So here is the little boy, and being so obsessed about finding it, and obviously he has found it. Going on. All of us went running out. Hiya! All of us went 跑到外面去. And there, just pulling out of the parking lot, okay? Just pulling out of the parking lot. Okay. To pulling out means 从这个停车场啊开出去. Okay? To pull out of a parking lot simply means to drive out of a parking lot. We use this. Why do we say pull out? I don't know. This is just the way we use English. Pulling out of the parking space. Okay? 这个停车的地方 pulling out of the parking space was a blue Volkswagen bus. Okay? 有一点像面包车 是德国车的 Volkswagen 面包车了。Okay, with a Delaware license plates， 有 Delaware 州的车牌。Guess what they did going on? In fact, we got a picture. 他们照相 a picture, and even today, a decade later, when we look at our pictures, so this is the lady's, what do you say, conclusion, okay? Already going over, wait a second, go back to the other one. Okay, already a decade later, 10 years later, 10 years later, 当我们看这些照片的时候 going on, the Delaware license plate picture tells more about what we did in Yellowstone than anything else. Okay, 这个 Delaware 州的这个license plate 车牌的这个照片，说明的比其他所有的 pictures 说明我们在黄石公园所做的事。It tells more about, tells more about, 说明我们所做的比其他的事情还要清楚。So, there you have it. Remember, 难忘的 unforgettable vacation and license plate collecting. We do have an email address, theoldprinciple@gmail.com, and we have a website, www.theoldprinciple.org. It's been great spending this time with you. Have had a great time. Hope you'll join us next time too. Bye-bye.